We are back here on Girl Talk. Yes, it's a glorious day out now. My friend Scott from H&H Auto is here, your general manager, and it's great to see you. And we've actually had a lot of fun talking before we started about what we were going to talk about today. It's so funny. People saw you on TV, and they're all like, you know, Scott, I go to H&H Auto. I'm like the coolest person now because you're here, so it's really doing something well. Today it was really interesting. We're going to talk about tires, and I have to tell you, and you shared, I don't think about H&H with tires. Talk me.
Correct. You know, I think that's because tire is not in our name.
Okay.
But H&H Auto Service, we're a full tires, distributor. We've got American Tires are a distributor. We get 2 shipments a day.
Okay.
Every brand, Michelin, you name it, Toyo, General Tire, any tire that's made out there we can get, and we can usually do it in a day and a half. So,
can you really?
Mm-hmm, yep. And we have alignments, and so everything goes with it. We do, and we've been doing it since we opened 17 years ago. So it's not new to us.
I just heard fish jumping out there. Did you hear that? Well, you know what's interesting to me about that is when it comes to tires and when it comes to service, is when you get your car serviced, looking at tires part of the service that you offer, and how often do you need tires these days?
Well, most tires are going to go 40 to 60,000 miles tread life.
Oh, are they really? Okay.
If you do the right things.
Oh,
if you,
I like it.
If you rotate your tires, it's every 7,500 miles. If you do the right thing and keep them inflated, then you'll get that life out of those tires. So what happens is when we do a service, we're going to go ahead and check your tires and tell you what the life is left.
Okay.
Do you have 50% left? Do you have 25%? There is a tread gauge that we use and make sure that everything's is one wearing differently? Is it because it's out of a line? So there's a lot of things that affect tire wear, but it's inspected every time you come in.
I was going to ask you, what does affect tire wear?
Okay, rotation.
Okay. It's a good thing.
Yes. Tire pressure, low or high, will affect the way the tire rolls and everything else. The simple thing for you to do is if you look at your door jamb inside your front door.
Okay, if I look,
it will give you the tire pressure that's recommended by the manufacturer. Let's say it's 32, say it's 36, and you're running at 26, 27, then you're going to get unusual tire wear.
How do I even know that, though? I mean, how do I know what my tire pressure is?
Well, you know what? That's the crazy part about it. You remember the old days, you could go get them checked.
Sure.
Right. And now these machines that are cost dollars to get in aren't very effective. There are new gauges out there that you can get. Just go ahead and check them. If not, it's a free inspection for us. If you're concerned about your tires, bring them by to us. We'll be glad to check them for free.
Should I be more concerned in the summer or the winter?
Good question, because the heat and cool will change pressures. So most cars today are equipped with what they call TPMS sensor, tire pressure monitoring system, which is a little squiggly light that comes on your car.
I know it well. And I always like, oh my God, what do I do? Yeah.
And we see it all the time when the temperature has ups and downs. Like we've had this year where it was really hot, 90 degrees in April, and then it went down to 60, and all of a sudden everybody's lights are going on.
Okay.
So it's that sensitive on 3 or 4 pounds. But then again, it's a great thing because if you're at 20 pounds and you've got a nail in it, it's saying, hey, a lot of people keep driving on it, not knowing that, and they'll ruin the tire.
Scott, are tires better than they used to be as far as a longevity, or are they making tires like they did 10, 15, 20 years ago?
Well, they've changed, and they've had to because, industry standards and stuff like that, and they're trying to make them last longer and stuff just like cars are lasting longer than they used to too, because 3 years was like, okay, get a new car. Now, people are driving. I think the average car on the road today is like 10 or 12 years old.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because you're right. I remember when I first started driving, it was like every 3 years you got a new car.
Your dad got a new car,
You had to.
Yeah, so it's changed a lot.
All right, talk to me about the kinds of tires. Do different cars require certain kinds of tires, or is it more about size? Is it more about quality?
Absolutely, and what we've seen a trend in the industry is it used to be 16, 17-inch tires. Now you're 19, 20. Bigger tires.
Why?
The manufacturers on some of these sport utilities and stuff like that will actually have staggered tires, where the tires in the front are different sizes than the rear.
Oh, that's interesting.
And what that does, though, is there's no rotation there. So it's very important that you keep your tire pressure where it needs to be, because you don't want the front wearing out before the back, and replacing them 2 at a time.
So wait a minute. Say that again with some of the sports utilities.
So there'll be a different size in the rear.
I didn't realize
and
that.
a different size in the front. Not all,
Okay.
but some. And what you have to do is you have to be very careful and make sure that you've always have the pressure correctly, because you could wear tires out in 20,000 miles.
And the other thing that you just said that I think is important is that if you are questioning that, run by and take a look. How often do we need to get our car serviced?
Okay.
Okay. And do I need to call for an appointment? Do I stop in? How does all that work with
Okay,
you?
you need to schedule an appointment because we route out our whole days. I'll give you an example. Today is one of those days where we'll run 43 cars through the shop.
Oh my gosh.
So it is impossible to do, hey, I just need to stop by.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gone. You're 2 days out or whatever. Just make an appointment. We'll schedule in if you want to wait. We schedule those in the morning so you can wait at 8 and get out at 9, or come in at 9 and get out at 10, whichever works for you. But that's the best way to get your car serviced. How often? You know, what I'm seeing right now is with the pandemic, some people aren't driving.
Good point.
So I recommend every 6 months.
Okay.
Because they're not putting enough miles on it, but that 6-month term gives you a chance to check it. At least listen, it may not need anything. And so you may come in and say, hey, I don't need an oil change. So we'll do an inspection, 6-month inspection. It's no charge.
So that's exactly what I was just going to ask, and I know we're almost out of time, is basically I can come in for something and you're going to give me sort of a good look over to see if I'm missing something that I need.
Correct. And I call it a safety check.
Okay.
And more people, and older people especially, they're about to go on a trip.
Yeah.
But they've already changed the oil, so they just want to make sure all the tires and all
Yeah.
the things are topped off. It's free.
You're the best.
So just come in and we get it inspected and get you out of there and make sure you're safe.
I'm very grateful to have you. Every time, this is like the third time we've talked to you, and I learned so much. I really appreciate it. Stay with us. There's a lot more to come on Girl Talk.